What's up, guys? It's your boy G, and I kind of wanted to talk to you guys about why you should be using Iron Will and Bite the Bullet more. Why more people don't use these perks, I will never understand. It will never make sense to me. But this is a PSA. If you're a survivor and you're not running these perks, you're messing yourself over. Iron Will is honestly one of the best, if not the best, survivor perk in the game outside of exhaustion perks like Dead Hard and Sprint Burst and things like that. Like, you can make a point to say borrowed time, but Iron Will literally win you matches. And I think people don't give Iron Will and auditory perks enough credit. Like, sound is so important to killers, right? Like, as a killer main, I rely on sound like a lot. So the fact that you can just go kind of ghost in a sense, especially when you're running things like Lucky Break with it and there's no scratch marks or blood, like, all I have to go by is sound. So the reason why Iron Will is broken, which is kind of obvious, is the fact that when you do hit a survivor, it kind of gives you more of a sense of where they're going to be at, right? Like, if they go around the corner, you can still hear them moan and groan, especially if they're playing somebody like Jane. They're like and they sound like they're dying. So it's kind of easy to keep track besides the blood. But with Iron Will, they crouch in the corner, they walk away, you don't know what just happened. The only thing you have to go off of is the grass, the footsteps, and the blood, right? So Iron Will is amazing, especially coupled with other perks. Like I said, with like Lucky Break and things like that, it's amazing. But more so, Iron Will's like the most broken of the two. But honestly, Bite the Bullet is really, really good. And if you're running a healing build or you're just getting into the game or anything like that, Bite the Bullet is amazing. And the reason why Bite the Bullet is amazing is because it's Iron Will on command and it's Iron Will forced on a teammate, right? Like, if you have a med kit or if you're a self-carry gamer, you literally go across the corner, like, you get hit, you go around the corner, and you immediately stop healing. You start healing. They can't hear you, they can't see you because you're probably a Claudette in the corner, so there's no risk. Like, I've seen people literally like hit somebody, the person would go break line of sight, go in the corner, and then vanish supposedly, and then poof, killer can't find you anymore. Bite the Bullet is good. And not only that, but when you're running with a teammate and your teammate gets injured, say you get them off the hook with borrowed time, you break line of sight with the killer, you go in the corner, you find your teammate, you hit them with Bite the Bullet, it forces them to be quiet, right? And I don't think people understand how good that is. It literally forces Iron Will onto your teammate, which means you're healing your teammate, which is gonna waste more time for the killer, while also making it very, very difficult to find you, which is wild to me that nobody sees how strong that is. And even if you mess up on the skill checks, like, the skill checks don't really show up, but that's kind of like an after effect. That's more for like noob stuff. It's more about the auditory, right? Because to be honest, this game has a lot of audio bugs and things like that, but audio is very important, especially when you run against killers like Spirit. I feel like Spirit's just like the obvious one. If you're running killers like Spirit who really rely on that whole hearing thing, it really messes with them. And especially when you get the new patch that's going to come out that's going to buff Iron Will and nerf Strider and things like that, basically changing audio from additive to multiplicative. That's going to change everything, which means no more Strider Spirit, no more hearing everybody across the corner, etc., etc. And Bite the Bullet will be massively helpful in those situations. And Iron Will is already massively helpful in those situations, right? Like I said, you literally just break line of sight, hit the corner, Iron Will, right? Especially if you have things like Sprint Burst, right? You have things like Sprint Burst, and you're hurt. The moment the killer sees you, you bolt, you walk a few steps, go in the corner, boom, nobody knows you're there. You could be healing with Bite the Bullet, or you could be crouching with Iron Will. Point is, killer has no idea where to find you. The only things they have to go off of is scratch marks and blood, And there are ways around that. You can run Dance With Me, you can run Lucky Break. Heck, you can even run Calm Spirit. Calm Spirit is trash, right? But I still run Calm Spirit with these other 2 perks just because, you know, it's kind of like a theme. But my point is, like, you should really consider these perks. Like, these perks are insane. And I just want to get it through people's heads that audio for killers is super important. Like, this is how we're going to find you besides scratch marks. Like, scratch marks have an issue where they're like, you're trying to find them, but the scratch marks can kind of be all over. Like, the scratch marks are always scattered, so it's like a little bit of a guess where they're going to be at. They only give you like a sense of direction, but the ways you got to find people is through like the birds, the blood, the scratch marks, and of course them breathing. But with Iron Will, when they're injured, they basically turn into ninjas. So that's difficult. Like, how are you gonna turn into a ninja after I hit you? That doesn't make sense. And Bite the Bullet turns your teammates into ninjas while getting healed. So that is crazy. That's crazy. That's insane. That's wild. But you know, that's DBD. And I think this is the reason why DBD doesn't make a lot of audio perks. Like, they don't really play with a lot of things that are trying to get rid of audio. And I think that's because they know how important audio is for a killer. Right? Because when you get hit with like Tentacle by Nemesis, you start breathing more, you start attracting zombies more, and that's another thing. As a Nemesis main, it's another reason I hate Iron Will. It counters zombies. So Bite the Bullet and Iron Will counters zombies. So Leon literally has a perk that counters the zombie. So if you go and your teammates like getting found out with the zombie, etc., what you do is you start healing them. But Bite the Bullet, zombie literally can't hear you. They'll be right next to you and they can't hear you, and they'll just walk away. Like, I remember one time I was playing a match and a zombie was kind of on this gen with me and a teammate left. After the teammate left, I just stayed on the gen and the zombie just walked away as if I wasn't there. So I was like, oh, so Iron Will just counter zombies. Like, the zombies apparently can't hear me breathe. That's crazy. So yeah, guys, I really think that you guys really give those perks a go. Like, honestly, the fact that people don't see how strong Iron Will and Bite the Bullet is wild to me. Again, that literally makes no sense. You know, you would think having the killer be bamboozled because they can't hear you would throw them off, right? But all in all, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Please check out my Twitch, which should be in the description below. Please consider hitting that sub button as it helps me out tremendously, and I love you guys. Have a wonderful day.
Got him a shot, just look at their face. I got a baddie, she wanna taste. She want it badly, come to my place. I get the bag, then I do the dash, and I do it fast like I'm in a race. Wait, hold up. G-Truth in that black coupe, he skirt. I make a nigga feel nervous. When I come around this woman, I got shorty flirting. Now my music got her twerking. When it comes to that cash, I'm a different person. Kill a beat, yeah.